The collapse of the Taliban regime and the war against terrorism has changed lives for the majority of Afghan refugees. Most of the 3 million Afghans who had been living in Pakistan for decades have meanwhile returned to Afghanistan. Others are preparing to leave under a UN-led repatriation program. Thousands of Afghan Pashtun families settled in the troubled South Waziristan region have also been told to pack up. Since last October, there have been several bloody encounters between Pakistani armed forces and members of Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, convincing authorities that scores of foreign militants are holed up in the region. This deserted refugee village outside Wana is one example of the problems that the latest crackdown against Muslim militants has created for thousands of families. To sift alleged miscreants and terrorists from common people, the authorities have now asked thousands of Afghan refugee families who have been living here to leave as soon as possible. Pakistani authorities have also begun demolishing mud houses that these refugees built over 2 decades ago in Wana and its outskirts. United Nations officials say, given the serious security threats in South Waziristan, there is little the organization can do to prevent the forced repatriation.
This is one of the government ideas, is that they would like to perhaps clear some of the Afghan refugees out of the tribal belt. And the first place, of course, that they've actually gone ahead with this policy is South Waziristan, which is the place where they've had the most trouble.
US and Pakistani officials believe that local and foreign Al-Qaeda and Taliban fugitives also use refugee camps as sanctuaries to plan and execute terrorist activities on both sides of the border.
That is the reason that, number one, we want their safety. Number two, we don't want their camps to be used as sanctuaries. And number three, if they have shown their willingness to go back, we would want them to go back to Afghanistan.
As the US military officials continue their pressure on Pakistan to vigorously pursue the hunt for Al-Qaeda terrorists, the authorities here hope that removing refugee settlements and forcing foreigners living here to register might help in containing the terrorist threats. So far, however, all the attempts to enlist foreigners have been less than fruitful. Imtiaz Gul, Star News Asia, South Waziristan.
Looking forward to going back home?
It's Deutsche Welle bothering us again, is it? No, tell them that we don't want any phone calls.
I'll give us.